The wrong dimension? The wrong fucking dimension? Again? Lucille stood by the window staring at me with a worried expression on her face.
Alex, darling, are you okay?
Do I look? I shouted, pausing to take a breath. No, Lucille, I'm not. I felt a sense of calm overcome me as my wife stared at me with a worried expression. She walked over to me, placed her hands on my cheeks, and began to kiss me passionately. At first, I didn't feel quite right kissing someone I didn't even know. But she was my wife in this dimension, and the thought of that put my mind at ease.
Now, what's this about a wrong dimension?
Believe me, you really wouldn't understand. Besides, it's fine. I'm fine.
Okay then, if you say so. Would you like some coffee? I'm gonna have a coffee.
Lucille began walking towards the door as I gave her a slight nod, and sat on the sofa looking around. I can't stay here, I thought to myself. I need to find my mom. There must be a way. At that moment, a thought crossed my mind. What if I use the mirror method to have more control over where I jump? I figured that theoretically, if I waited until 12 a.m. using the mirror method, I could find a way to jump to a dimension where my mom is in my life. She is still alive, and where I also have a sister that dies. I'd be willing to make that sacrifice, considering I'd never had a sister before that first jump. That settled it. I had decided that if I'm careful, and can be precise about which dimension I'd want to jump to, nothing can go wrong. Lucille came back into the living room carrying 2 cups of coffee, handing one to me. She sat down next to me and turned on the TV.
What would you like to watch? Anything in mind?
No, not really, I said, taking a sip of my coffee. It depends on what's on.
Well, there's a few different game shows on. Oh, there's a film on Channel 5. Or Doctor Who is about to start on BBC One.
I'll tell you what. You watch Doctor Who, I'm going to finish my coffee, then go get a shower, and then get an early night.
Okay then, I'll be up once this finishes,
she replied, placing her hand on my lap. With that, I headed into the kitchen. I poured a bit of extra milk into my coffee to cool it down, drank the whole thing in one big gulp, then started to look for a candle and a lighter before heading upstairs. I placed the candle and the lighter down on the back of the sink, turned on the shower, then took the towel off of the towel rack and placed it on the toilet lid closer to the shower. While I was in the shower, I began hearing 1,000 voices whispering in unison amongst the sound of the water pattering against the floor of the shower. And then, out of nowhere, a bright flash distorted my vision. My vision quickly returned, and I was overcome with an immense heat as the temperature of the water suddenly rose, forcing me to jump into the corner of the shower to avoid the water burning me further. I quickly turned the dial on the shower, finished washing my hair, and got out. As I stood there, reaching for the towel, I stared at my hand as steam rose from it. Picking up my towel and drying my face, I noticed a peculiar smell lingering on the fabric. Smoke, I thought, throwing the towel down and reaching for another one. Again, throwing the towel over my head to dry my hair, I could smell smoke. But the smell wasn't coming from the towels. The smell was on my hands. I didn't light a fire tonight, and I just took a shower. Why do I smell like smoke? I finished drying myself off and washed my hands in the sink before brushing my teeth. I opened the bathroom window slightly to let out the steam, and then headed into the bedroom. Tonight's the night, I thought as I walked over to the window. Time to get this jump right. Looking out into the evening scene, I noticed a light fog had veiled the lifeless street as the orange glare of the streetlights beamed through the darkness. I set my alarm for 12 a.m., then went and laid in bed. I had just started drifting off to sleep when Lucille called out from the other side of the door.
Alex, are you awake?
Well, I am now. The door slowly opened and I could see the silhouette of Lucille standing in the doorway. Looking up, I turned the lamp on and was stunned. She was standing there completely naked as I looked her up and down, taking in the beauty of her smooth, glabrate body. Her auburn hair was blanketing one side of her face, exhibiting her stunning emerald eyes amidst the waves. Her small, elegantly formed breasts sat tantalizingly upon her chest as she ran her fingers lightly down her neck, chest, and stomach. For the first time, my eyes were open to her radiant beauty. Walking over to the bed, she turned off the lamp and climbed under the sheets, throwing her legs over me. I placed my hands on her waist.
"Kiss me,"
she whispered in my ear. I felt a sudden rush of adrenaline as I pulled Lucille closer, kissing her lustfully as she ran her hands down my body. Suddenly, I heard the sound of my alarm, and I jumped up to see Lucille sleeping next to me as the glow of my phone dimly lit up the room. Were we... I mumbled to myself in confusion. I stopped my alarm and kissed Lucille on the cheek. Pausing, I looked at her through the darkness, thinking to myself, I've come to a dimension where I'm married to a woman who clearly cares a lot about me. She's gorgeous, and I obviously married her for a reason. I've never even met my mom, and I fail every time I jump. Maybe I could be happy here. Lucille looked so peaceful, laying there like a silent sleeping angel. I felt like my mind was being torn apart. A part of me wanted this, wanted to stay. But all I've ever wanted is my mom. Maybe, just maybe, if I'm very specific, Lucille will be in the next dimension too, I thought out loud.
"What?"
I sat there not saying a word, hoping she was just talking in her sleep. Then I climbed out of bed. As I was heading out the door, Lucille pounced on me.
"Where are you going? You're going to watch filthy videos while I'm up here asleep, aren't you? And on our anniversary."
What the fuck? What are you going on about? I'm going to the toilet, I exclaimed, trying to pull away.
"Don't lie to me, Alex."
Get off me! I tried to pull my arm free as we scuffled our way into the hallway. Lucille, let go. I need the toilet, I said, raising my voice.
You're lying to me. Okay, I'm coming in.
What? Grow up! Get off my arm now! I shouted, trying to pull free. Lucille finally let go, dropping to her knees as she started crying.
Alex, why do you keep doing this to me? Why do you hurt me?
I'm not doing anything. I just need the toilet, I tried to explain. Lucille looked up at me with tears in her eyes, and her expression changed to one of pure hatred and rage.
No! It's all lies!
She screamed like a banshee, pouncing towards me once again. Lucille, you're psychotic, I shouted, pushing her away from me. She fell backwards, tripping over her pile of clothes outside the bedroom door, and fell headfirst down the stairs. When she hit the bottom, she laid motionless in the most unnatural position, her limbs contorted into positions they shouldn't be in. Oh, what have I done? No, I'll bring you back. I ran to the bathroom, picked the towels up which I had used earlier, and took a candle and the lighter off the sink before heading over to the window to hang up the 2 towels. As I went to close the window, I noticed that the fog had gotten considerably denser. I thought back to my childhood, how I used to love walking the streets in the fog, pretending I was in a scene from Silent Hill. Snapping out of my daze, I hung the towels up, covering the window and blocking any outside light, before lighting the candle and sitting in front of the mirror. I sat there in the darkness, staring at the mirror with nothing but the candle between us after staring at myself for about 10 minutes. I was careful to think to myself what it was that I wanted, specifically, before speaking into the mirror. I need to jump to a dimension where my mom is alive, and Lucille. I paused. My sister is there, and she dies. I sat for a further 5 minutes reflecting on this, repeating it over and over in my head. When my reflection began to speak, but I couldn't hear a word. I tilted my head in confusion as it spoke again. This time I heard my own voice. Alex, we need to swap places. Do you understand me? It called out. Yes, I replied. And we can swap, right? I bowed my head, thinking for a minute before replying. I need to swap with you, but is Mom there? Is my sister? Yes, everyone's here. We need to swap now, my reflection said, sounding a little worried. Is Lucille there? I questioned. Yes, I've already said yes. I never asked. I said everyone's here. You asked for them earlier. They're here. Okay, that's fine then. And we can swap, right? I nodded, and then we got up and began to walk away. Go to bed, Alex, I called, heading for bed myself. I looked towards the bottom of the stairs to see Lucille's body just laying there. I'll be with you soon, I whispered. I went into the bedroom. Turning on the light, I saw that the whole room was filled with fog. I didn't understand how the fog got inside the house. A side effect of the jump, maybe? I headed over to the windows to close it, blinded by the fog, and almost tripping over my clothes by the side of my bed. The window was closed. I turned around to head towards my door, and it felt like something unseen had grabbed my ankle. As I tried to kick it away, I fell onto my bed, kicking my legs and fighting to turn over to see what grabbed me. I saw that the fog was no longer in my room. The light wasn't even turned on. Now I was convinced it was just a side effect of the jump and made myself comfy in bed. Hesitant to actually go to sleep, I laid there thinking about what just happened. But my mind was put at ease with the thought of the dimension that awaits me. And with that, I closed my eyes to go to sleep. I woke up the next day to the sound of my phone beeping and the sun beaming through my window. I had a text from my mom.
You said you'd be coming around today, didn't you? I'm just going shopping with Lucille, but we won't be long.
I laughed at the thought of my mom sending a text message, and then something clicked. Lucille was in this dimension, and my mom was fine. She was going shopping, for God's sake. I'd finally done it. I'd finally made it. I laid there for a moment staring at the ceiling, thinking about the journey I'd had. The fucked up premonition, killing my own mom twice, the creepy old guy on the canal, and a smile grew across my face. Oops, better text mom back. I'm about to text my mom back. Looking at the blank message, I realized I didn't even know where my mom lives. Sure, I found her the first time I jumped, but I didn't really want to go searching the online directory again. And so much seems to change each time I jump that she may not even live in the same house. Then I had an idea. Okay, not a problem. Will you stop by my house on the way home, please? While waiting for my mom to text me back, I got up and got dressed, went downstairs and made coffee, and sat on a sofa to watch TV. Flicking through the channels, it seemed there was nothing decent on, but when is there at 9 o'clock in the morning? Nothing but daytime talk shows and cartoons. Since I'm neither a stay-at-home mom or a fan of the TV show aimed at them, I opted for one of the cartoon channels, and Pokemon was about to start, so why not? And that's when my phone beeped.
Okay, honey, not a problem.
I watched Pokemon and drank my coffee, then began flicking through the channels again, stopping halfway through my search to run to the toilet. On my way back into the living room, I saw that the news was just starting, and I figured it could be good to see what's happening in the world, in this dimension.
Clinton has won the U.S. election with 79% of the electoral votes.
I couldn't help but laugh at the thought of Hillary Clinton running America. Bring on World War III, I muttered sarcastically.
Scientists have confirmed many of the supposed benefits of cannabis.
Well, I'm definitely not in my dimension anymore, am I?
A woman who was out shopping with her daughter-in-law has been gunned down in the Arndale Center this morning.